You finish a side gig and you are holding an extra $100. For a second, it feels like relief. Then it disappears into gas, groceries, a fee, and one small purchase that turns into two. If you live on a low or middle income and you feel financially trapped, you know this feeling. So here is the question. If we split that $100 into 50%, 30%, and 20% in the first minute, would it still be gone by Tuesday? A lot of adults say a $400 surprise would be hard to cover without borrowing or selling something. That is not about being irresponsible. That is what life looks like without a buffer. When money has no safe place to land, every surprise gets louder and more expensive. This is Wealth Mentor Pro, where every lesson is a step closer to your freedom. Today, we are fixing vanishing side income with a simple system I call the perfect split. You physically divide any extra cash into 3 piles. 50% for immediate needs, 30% for a safety buffer, and 20% for guilt-free fun so you can stay motivated. And the pile people skip most often is the one that makes the whole system stick. I have been the person who promised I would do better next week. Now, the first thing to understand is why side money disappears so fast. And the second is why fun money can be part of a serious plan. Extra money is like a car driving with no navigation. It will go somewhere, just not where you meant. For example, you make $180 delivering food on Saturday. By Monday, $60 went to groceries, $40 to gas, and then an overdraft fee hits. Those fees are often around $35. It happens because 2 bills clear earlier than you expected. You did not buy anything fancy. You just mixed the money and hoped timing would behave. So do this today. The moment extra money arrives, pause and split it before you spend $1. Here is what that changes. Side income does not vanish. It gets absorbed. The second it lands in the same place as rent, debt, and groceries, it becomes general money. And general money has no protection. Bills do not care that it was overtime. A card balance does not care that it was a tip. And most of us treat it like bonus money, which makes it easier to spend fast. If this helps even a little, you can leave a like, and we will keep going. And here is the cost of doing nothing. When extra money gets absorbed, you stay exposed. Exposure turns a $120 problem into a $300 problem because it pushes you toward fees, late charges, and high-interest debt. So instead of building a perfect budget, we build something you can follow when you are tired. Same idea as navigation, but only 3 destinations. Needs, buffer, fun. Not 15 categories, 3 decisions. Imagine you get $60 in tips after a long shift. The old pattern is simple. You treat yourself, and then the week gets tight again. The new pattern is also simple. You split it immediately. $30 goes to a real pressure point, like transit or a bill that could trigger a late fee. $18 goes into a buffer, and $12 is for something enjoyable, on purpose. Do this today. Grab 3 envelopes or jars and label them Needs, Buffer, and Fun. A lot of videos skip this kind of reality. They start with perfect budgets or rules that assume rent is reasonable and paychecks are predictable. Real life is not. Real life has childcare, car repairs, and family needs that do not wait for your spreadsheet to catch up. And here is something quiet but important. The fun pile is not wasting money. It is what keeps the system going long enough for the buffer to grow. Now let me ask you a direct question. If your side income is only $100 a month, do you think it matters? In a year, that is $1,200 passing through your hands. The real question is whether it leaves a trace. Money works a lot like traffic lanes. If everything is in one lane, one slowdown backs up the whole road. For example, one month you make $200 from a small side job, and the next month you make $40. If it all lives together, the good month disappears and the bad month becomes panic. But if a buffer lane exists, the good month quietly supports the bad month. So do this today. Make the buffer pile hard to reach, not hard to use. Put it in a drawer, not in your wallet. This is where wealth building comes in. Net worth is what you own minus what you owe. When you have no buffer, small shocks push you into debt. Credit card interest is often above 20% APR. APR means yearly interest rate. That means balances can grow faster than savings without you noticing. Your bank app will happily accept your overtime and then charge you for being late by 1 day. It is almost impressive, and this is how you create room for investing later. Long-term investing is a concept, diversified, low-cost, long horizon, no guarantees. But you cannot stay invested if every surprise forces you to borrow or pull money back out. A buffer protects your future self so progress can actually last. So what do we do in the first minutes after extra cash lands? Here is the twist most people miss. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to be consistent. Wealth building is slow, uneven, and personal. No overnight transformations. This is education, not personal financial advice, but the perfect split stays the same every time. Needs, buffer, fun. Quick question for you. What eats your side money first? Gas, groceries, debt, family needs, or something else? One word in the comments. Rule 1. 50% goes to immediate needs first. This is your today pile. The benefit is breathing room because it lowers the chance of fees and panic spending. For example, you earn an extra $120. $60 goes to the next real pressure point, like groceries, transit, or a bill that would trigger a late fee. Keep this pile visible and practical. Use it to prevent tomorrow's stress. If money is left after the need is covered, it stays in needs for the next pressure point, not for impulse spending. Rule 2. 30% goes to a safety buffer you protect. This is your anti-chaos money. The benefit is simple. Surprises stop becoming emergencies. For example, from that same $120, $36 goes into the buffer envelope. Your first target is not 3 months of expenses. Your first target is a small wall. $100, then $300, then $500. A starter buffer in the $500 to $1,000 range can cover a lot of real-life shocks. When the buffer gets used, refill it before you upgrade your lifestyle. That is how stability compounds. Rule 3. 20% is guilt-free fun on purpose. The benefit is consistency because motivation is fuel. For example, from $120, that is $24. Maybe it is a meal you do not cook. Maybe it is something small that makes the week easier. This pile is allowed and capped. You do not negotiate with it in the moment because you already planned it. And when you plan a little joy, you are less likely to blow up the whole system later. We build wealth with sustainability, not punishment. Now let's scale it to real life. If your extra money is $40, the split still works. $20 needs, $12 buffer, $8 fun. If it is $200, it is $100, $60, $40. The math adjusts. The routing stays the same. And if your side income is not cash, you can mirror the same structure digitally with 3 separate places. The point is separation. Money that stays together gets spent together. Here is the payoff, and it takes 1 minute. Your extra $100 did not disappear because you are bad with money. It disappeared because it was never protected. So when extra money comes in, do not admire it and do not debate it. Split it immediately. Needs, buffer, fun. Then move on with your day. Try this for 2 weeks and track one number: your buffer pile. The first time a small surprise shows up, like $90 for a tire patch, $60 for a prescription, or the $35 you would have lost to a fee, and you handle it without panic, you will feel what progress really is. Quiet. Real. This is Wealth Mentor Pro. This is how you stop losing money and start building assets. And it is how you create room for investing later once your foundation can hold it. If you found this helpful, you can like the video and subscribe for more calm money lessons. And if you want to keep going, watch the next suggested video. It is another step toward feeling steady with money.